Kitchener-Waterloo. This is our third show, and we are over the moon excited you're here. It is absolutely wonderful to see so many familiar returning faces and so many new faces. In fact, who here has been to a MoMondays before? Let me hear a yeehaw! Yeehaw! All right.
I struggled with trying to remember a time before this chaos started. Like, I know it didn't start overnight, and it just grew. It was about 5 years ago when we found drugs in our house. We fought it. We did every single thing that we could think to do, but it was a monster that just grew on its own. It stole our boys. It tore our family apart, robbed us of our happiness, and it took away years that we will never get back.
And I have elderly parents, and so when the house phone rings at 12:30, I mean, you think the worst. And my son, he answered the phone, and he comes upstairs, and he says, "Dad, it's Deputy Chief, it's Paul Martin, Inspector Paul Martin on the phone. He needs to talk to you." And I'll never forget this. You know, and I don't want to scare anybody, but I'm in my underwear, sitting at the side of my bed, and I pick up the phone, and, you know, Brian Larkin. You know, serious cop, right? Brian Larkin. And Paul Martin says, I could hear it in his voice. I could hear it in his voice saying, there's been a terrible collision. There's been a terrible crash.
I'm going to learn to fly a plane. And I did. I went out and I learned to fly a plane. And when I was done learning to fly, now what am I going to do? Let's start a flight school. Let's build an airplane. So then I got to protect people. I got to fly my airplane. I got to be an engineer and solve problems. And over time, with the flight school, I had my own business. And since that time, it's been 10 years, I've always had my own business. And I actually have a corner office, and I have the big leather chair. And the best part, I get to protect people. I get to solve problems.
If someone is going to save me, it's going to have to be myself. And I don't know whether I actually said that out loud. I feel like I did. I feel like I screamed to the sky that I had to save myself. Because in that moment, it was a shift. I heard that moment, I felt that moment, I knew in that moment I was responsible to my getting better. Nobody else. And all this time I was waiting for someone to work this out for me when I was supposed to be working on my own inside job.
And I was painting the word joy and the word love and the word peace on different rocks. And in the moments that I was painting on those rocks, I had zero symptoms. And in hypnosis and NLP, one of the questions we ask, is there ever a time that you forget to have the problem? Because if you can forget to have the problem some of the time, you can forget to have the problem all of the time.
Hello, so he said, I'm from CBC, and now I can't believe I interrupted him. I said, CBC, duck cleaning service? And there was this dead silence. He said, no, I'm a producer for Dragon's Den. I was in shock. I said, sorry, sir. I apologized, and he said, well, Mr. Wienburg, congratulations. You're one of 4 pictures from London to be chosen to be filmed in the Den. I was like a deer in headlights. I was in shock. I thanked him profusely, put the phone down, and just sat there in shock, because now I actually have to do something.
You meet the nicest people at MoMondays. This whole show would not be possible without you, so thank you very much. We hope to see you at our next show. Tickets are on sale for July 18th. Come on up, guys. Huddle in. Ladies and gentlemen, your speakers for tonight.